on digital radio, digital TV, downloads and online. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Did you listen to the Queen's speech yesterday, given, of course, by Prince Charles, who stepped in to deliver the state opening of Parliament? It was his first time reading out the government's plan for the year ahead. This is, of course, after the Queen pulled out due to mobility issues. This is how it began.
My Lords and members of the House of Commons, Her Majesty's government's priority is to grow and strengthen the economy and help ease the cost of living for families.
You excited yet? Doesn't really get any more animated.
This will be underpinned by a responsible approach to the public finances, reducing debt while reforming and cutting taxes. Her Majesty's ministers will support the Bank of England to return inflation to its target.
Now, let's be fair. Prince Charles was reading a list, basically, of like government plans, bills, proposals. But could it have been given in a more animated or way? Or, you know, also remember the separation between crown and state, obviously, church and state, you know, think about that. So there has to be kind of a step apart. There can be no intimation of, you know, favour or displeasure when reading this list. Let's talk more about this. Esther Stanhope is a speaker and author who helps leaders all over the world have more impact and presence when they speak in public. Her book is Goodbye Glossophobia, Banish Your Fear of Public Speaking. Esther, hello.
Hello, Naga. How are you?
I'm very well, very well. Did you listen to the speech?
Yes, I did. I watched it and listened to it. By the way, I am sporting a sports bra.
Are you? Is it a zip up front? We will. Is it a zip up front or not?
It's a fastener at the back. It's like a more sturdy version of a normal bra, if there is such a thing.
There you go. So easy to get in and out of. You've been fascinated. Yes. You'll be fascinated by the chat we'll have later. The speech, Prince Charles.
Yes.
Prince Charles's speech. What did you? Well, it was the government speech that he read out.
Yes.
What did you make of it?
Well, it was not a speech fit for a future king, was it? And actually, as you just said, he read out a list. Can we actually call this a speech? I think it's actually got the wrong branding. We need to rebrand this list of what the government wants to do, because it's not really a speech. When I'm helping people with their speeches, you know, what makes a good speech? Well, for a start, a little bit of energy would help, a little bit of something that you can care about. How can you care about a list of stuff? I mean, it was almost as if somebody handed him some awful pamphlet, and he kind of, the way he looked as well, if you watch it as well, his attitude towards it was almost like, someone's just handed me this random list, and I've just got to read somebody else's stuff.
But isn't that effectively what happens? I mean, you know, if you listen back to the Queen delivering the speech, I mean, some commentators, you know, I've been reading a couple of political sketches on it and comments on it. They've branded it as dull. They've branded it as, you know, disinterested. But he cannot show any favour towards what is being proposed, even though it is his government, the monarchy's government.
So I think there's two things here. First of all, there's the big picture. And if I could wave a magic wand, we need to change the system. There's no point in having
Good luck with that.
Somebody with all their beautiful navy uniform and the crowns there and, you know, it's the pomp and circumstance, reading a list that you could just read. I mean, it's just a list. It's a really good written list that you could read. It's not a script. It's not a script that you really want to say. It's something you would read. So if I could wave a magic wand, I would say to the House of Lords or whoever's in charge, can you please do an elevator pitch or an elevator speech that has a roundup of what's going to happen? And then if people want to read the list, they can read it online, take it away. And then, you know, 28 things or whatever it was. You can't remember 28 things. And we don't all need to listen to somebody saying that list. I mean, it's just ridiculous. So I think there needs to be a massive change in the way things are communicated. But then on the other point there is, though, if you are stuck, and he is stuck in tradition, he was obviously told, do not veer off the path. Look at what your mother did. And the Queen is always very it's
objective.
It's traditional. Yes,
Objective.
absolutely.
It is very difficult to deliver something with aplomb and enthusiasm if you have to be objective, though. I mean, this is no easy task, I don't think. I think it's very easy to criticise,
not an easy task.
isn't it?
However, if I could have just briefed Prince Charles before he read the list, I would have said, you can sex it up a bit, okay? And this is how you do it. SEX.
Okay.
S, if you're going to read a script, why isn't there an auto cue? Are they not allowed an auto cue? Why aren't they allowed an auto cue?
No, it doesn't quite fit. Now,
law?
come on, Esther, it doesn't quite fit. You've got all that regalia. It doesn't fit to have like a screen in front of him. And he's got to sit on the consort's throne as well. So it doesn't quite fit. Sure,
but there actually are ways of having an auto cue at the back. There's lots of cheats. There's lots of ways to have an auto cue. Okay, so forget the auto cue. So if you can't have an auto cue, you need to take a leaf out of Barack Obama's book, which is you cram the words. You read the script, and then you cram the words in your head. And then you deliver more to the front, because he's delivered his entire list to the list itself. And having a piece of paper there, you just don't really need to be giving all of your energy downwards. And that's another reason why it probably sounded so monotone and down, is because he's literally delivering a speech to a piece of paper.
Okay, I can see you doing it.
Energy.
Yes, yeah, okay. There's some constructive criticism there.
Yeah, I mean, if you have to deliver a script, though, you need to practice it. But Prince Charles has actually got quite a good voice. He's got quite a good personality when he gets going. So the other suggestion I would have, so S is for script, get round the script better. E, I would say, is, come on, Prince Charles. You could have put more energy into your voice, just a little bit more energy. And that the way that you do that, if you want an instant energy boost, as you know, Naga, because you do live broadcasting every day, even if you just take a breath, breathe, open up your chest a bit and smile a tiny bit, your entire face will sound and look and feel more energized because I think he should have had that kind of looking down, that his face is literally going down and everything just sounds down. And the trouble is, when you've got 28 things to say and you're just saying the whole thing the same going down, it's just not exciting at all. It's really dull. And then finally, SEX is to sex it up, a bit of extra. This was his moment to shine as a future king. He could have just put a little bit more oomph, just a little bit more presence.
Can I caveat that, though? Can I caveat that?
Go on.
The fact is that the Queen was unable to attend because of mobility issues. And in terms of the public profile, you don't want to be the prince kind of going, yay, this is my chance, mummy's ill and I'm here. That's not appropriate. So it is, it's unfortunate. It was sad that the Queen wasn't there to do what is officially her job. She wasn't able to do that because of mobility issues. So Charles can't stand there and go, yeah, this is my moment to shine, can he?
Well, he was literally shining in his Royal Navy uniform and everything else was shining. There's a crown, there's a whole, there's hundreds of people are tuning in. I'm not saying he had to kind of leap about and go, woohoo. However, he really has got quite a good voice, and he's very traditional, very, very distinct sounding voice. He just could have put a little bit more punch into it. He could have sat up more, delivered it to the front more, smiled more. And I just want to change the way it's done. I mean, I would love to change the whole thing if I could.
I found it fascinating listening to you. I will now be very conscious about how I deliver the next 13 minutes of my programme, or 11 minutes of my programme. But I will defend him. He can't smile because you can't offer an opinion on what is being said. Remember that. So I'll do that little bit of defence of him. But I think the tips for, sexing up your speech, any presentation, very useful. Esther, it's been great. It's been great. It's been great talking to you. Enjoy the sports bra chat a little later on as well, in a few minutes. Esther Stanhope, author of Goodbye Glossophobia, Banish Your Fear of Public Speaking. Fabulous.